How's it going, Mets and overall baseball fans? It's your boy Wardy, and we're back at it with a quick game recap as the New York Metropolitans take the first three games in a four-game set against the St. Louis Cardinals, and they win today by a massive score of 13-2. Now, we haven't done live shows over the past couple days, and thankfully, since I kind of did my own little Mets rant a couple days ago and the Mets got steamrolled by the Braves, they have won 4 consecutive games pretty much since then. So the Mets have definitely been more on a roll as of late. It's crazy that they're in like the same wildcard spot as the San Diego Padres right now. Shout out to my boy Borna Hogwatch. But I just want to recap this game, share my initial reactions to it, and also the type of post-game shows that you can expect for the upcoming week because we haven't been doing them as consistently since the Mets sold off on the season, that being at the trade deadline. But a huge win for the Mets. Again, they take the series against a really bad St. Louis Cardinals team. The Cardinals have free-falled for a good period of time this year, really pretty much since the beginning. The Mets were seesawing for a while and then really, of course, fell off. But now, I believe they're 8 games below 500. They're right around a 6.5 or so back of the wild card right now, right around the same thing as the Padres, especially if the Padres lose tonight, which is crazy to say. But the Mets offensively tonight, they were absolutely rolling. They had 13 hits to a measly 3 from the Cardinals, and they had offense. It was early. It was often. The Mets scored their first run in the first, then in the third, the fourth. They had a 4-run fifth, 2 in the seventh, 3 in the eighth, and 1 in the ninth. And this was headlined by Pete Alonso with his 38th home run this season. This comes 24 hours after he accidentally threw the rookie Wynn's first hit into the stands yesterday that I know a lot of Cardinals fans are upset about. It's okay, guys. It was an accident, I promise. And Pete was the first to tell you just how sorry he felt. But Alonso gets his 38th home run of the year. He's going to get 100 RBIs right before you know it. He may, in fact, win the home run champ again this year if he can best the likes of Matt Olson and Shohei Ohtani, all while being out for 11 days with injury after getting drilled by Charlie Moore with a 97 heater in the wrist earlier this season. But he had some offense there from Alonso. He had Vogelback, Danny effing Burgers ripping a Vogel bop that we saw. Danny Bop, whatever you want to call it. He rips a bomb. He has 4 RBIs on the night, but Francisco Lindor is the one who really stood out to me in tonight's game. He went 4 for 5 with 3 runs scored, a double. Fantastic outing from Francisco Lindor, who's now batting above 250, 800 OPS, and of course is having a phenomenal overall season. When you look at his defensive numbers, DRS, when you're looking at his outs above average, when you're looking at OPS plus, WRC plus, he's having a very solid season, Francisco Lindor, to say the least. Another guy that's on pace for around 30 home runs around there, and of course north of 100 RBIs. You love to see that. You got more offensive production from DJ Stewart. The guy has been raking over the past week of baseball. He's been hitting home runs galore, feels like, doing his best Barry Bonds impression for the past week or so. He rips a bomb tonight. He goes 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored and 2 RBIs. And then you also got some more offensive production, that being not only from DJ Stewart, Vogelback, Alonso, but Jeff McHitz. Jeff McNeil, of course, has been batting really well over the past month of baseball, as has been the case with Alonso, as has been the case with Lindor, with a lot of these guys. But McNeil, looking like the McNeil of old tonight, 3 for 5 with the double and an RBI. Jeff McHitz is coming up clutch again like he did yesterday in the Mets Game 2 victory. And again, they take the first 3 games out of 4 games against the St. Louis Cardinals. They look for the 4-game sweep tomorrow. That starts around 2:10 p.m. Eastern. But now I want to highlight a little bit on the pitching front because the Mets relievers got the job done tonight. They didn't have to do too much. You had Natoli really eating basically 2 innings of work without too much of a problem. But Kodai Senga with another strong outing. Kodai Senga is easily one of the best pitchers in all the NL this season in his rookie year. A 3.1 ERA on the season thanks to 7 innings of 1 earned run ball. You love to see that from Kodai. I personally have had the privilege of witnessing Kodai a lot in person this year at Citi Field. He dominated against the Tampa Bay Rays with a 12 strikeout game, only allowing 1 run over 6. And then against the Philadelphia Phillies, I think it was 6 or 7 of 1 earned run ball or 0 earned run ball. He was just phenomenal. Kodai Senga continues to impress. He continues to be one of the best young phenoms in baseball at the starting pitching position. And hopefully he can be paired with another Japanese phenom coming from the MPB this offseason, that being in Yoshinobu Yamamoto, that we did a video on over the past week or 2. So make sure to check that out also. But just final thoughts, and I want to know your reactions in the comments below to the Mets legging out this series victory. On one hand, I don't want to see the Mets win for the sake of tanking and getting that 6th overall pick. That's the best scenario. On the other hand, I hate to see the Mets lose. So as long as they're playing, I'm going to root for them, and I want to see them have success. And that has been the case as of late. It's nice to see the Mets get on a little bit of roll here. It's just crazy how wide open this wild card spot still is. It makes you wonder, obviously, the Mets did not sell off. There's a very good chance that the Mets are in a wild card spot right now or close to. Now, that's something that I don't really wish because while making playoffs this year still would have been nice, no doubt. And the Mets are mathematically out of it still, which is hilarious in its own right. But the point still stands. The Mets decided to buy. How good would the team be looking? Would they be worthy of getting on a run in the postseason? We're going to never know. I firmly did not believe that to be the case, and you shouldn't either with the way that this team has performed up until this point. I mean, even the Philadelphia Phillies, they were not good for all of last season, even leading into the postseason last year. They did not have a good final month of the regular season. However, they got that quick win over the Cardinals, and then they soared from there against the Braves, against the Padres, against everyone, that they took care of there to lead them to the World Series. But having said all that, I am a firm believer that the Mets needed to sell this year. The odds were not in their favor. Steve Cohen was aware of that, and they sold off the best that they possibly could with the prospect return that they got, which I'm going to be really excited about to discuss in future content, including Luis Angel Acuna, who had himself another big day. He's been really, really tearing the cover off the ball. Drew Gilbert's been looking good. Ryan Clifford's been looking good. Marco Vargas, a part of the David Robertson deal, has been looking really, really good. A lot to like with the prospect return the Mets got. It really changed their farm system overnight, thanks to some great moves by Billy Epler, Steve Cohen, and everyone else involved. But not really too much more I want to add here. A nice offensive night for the Mets, who look for this series sweep tomorrow. Mets fans, I guess my biggest question that I have in the comments below for you is, do you think the Mets actually still have a shot at cracking the wild card this year with how wide open everything is? Whatever your thoughts are, make sure to drop them down below. Again, it's just an interesting topic, how the Mets have somehow gained ground versus where they were when they sold off around August 1st at the trade deadline. Now we fast forward 19, 20 days later, and they're at least a game higher or 2 games higher than what they were around the trade deadline. It's crazy stuff. It really is. But overall, I just want to say thank you guys all so much for the support. I'll be coming out with consistent content this week. We'll be doing post-game shows 3 to 4 times this week at minimum. We're going to be bulking up the post-game shows a little bit, especially with how the team's playing. I've been busy with family and all that great stuff lately. However, I do want to kind of grind out some more post-game shows with you guys and then individual video content on various topics, especially as we lead closer into the offseason. A lot of that will be coming, so make sure you chime in. But let me know your thoughts down below as the Mets, again, take another one against the Cardinals. They won the first 3 by a final score of 13-3. What was your biggest takeaway from tonight's game? What was your biggest takeaway from the series victory overall? Thank you guys so much as always, and let's go Mets, baby. Peace out.